TikTok girl bosses are beyond down bad. Oh, brother. People will pay $39 for a month of Shopify, and then they'll change their bio to entrepreneur nowadays. It's like, what does that even mean at this point? I'm sure if delusion was a business, everybody would be a boss. I don't know many bosses that don't have any employees.
This TikToker just went viral for telling her female viewers to stop paying rent if you're hot and instead match with guys on Hinge and just stay on their couch for free like her.
Great take. Great take. I'm sure that's one that Jeffrey Dahmer would love. I mean, if he was in his prime right now, he would be putting up NFL numbers.
Save money. What could go wrong?
If you're new here, I'm homeless. This is one of my boyfriend's place. He's in the other room, but I can't believe I was wasting my money on rent all this time. Life hack, if you're hot, do not ever pay rent.
Yeah, that only works as long as you're hot. How long is that actually going to last before you actually have to go and get a job and be a responsible adult? Like, how you going to be hoeing and homeless? Like, bro, you got to pick a struggle, man.
You can literally just go on Hinge and stay at different guys' places for free every single night.
Everything comes at a price,
That's so
even
dumb.
though it's not monetary.
That's so dumb and so dangerous. To teach girls that is so dumb and dangerous. Like, it's crazy.
And that sounds incredibly taxing and stressful to me. But she's been facing backlash for giving horrible advice to her impressionable followers that could potentially put them in harm, or at least in unsafe situations. Also, she could get a little bit more engagement for her TikTok and OF. Yeah. And honestly, it's no secret that OF
Okay, she does OF. Okay, it makes sense now. That's why the brain isn't fully developed. It's something about a woman that takes too many Johnsons where their brain just goes... They don't have that anymore. They lose their brain.
Will do basically anything for attention online. We have Jack Doherty's ex lying about doing stuff with Lacey on camera for clicks. And then we have the same girl platforming another girl who essentially just lied about Mr. Beast for clicks. And we have the other girl who's in the same circle of those people who uses her underage brother to promote her own OF. And I mean, you could just go on and on with a disgusting laundry list. So there's nothing new here.
Well, if they don't care about their own reputation, why would they care about anybody else's reputation? Like, you're talking about somebody who's willing to sell themselves. Of course, they're willing to sell you out. So if they don't care about themselves, of course, they don't care about the people around them. That just makes sense.
I feel like this blew up because of how bad the advice actually was. Because rolling the dice with that many strangers back to back, I mean, how long will it take until you meet someone dangerous?
Exactly.
Who knows? But I would advise women out there to not give...
How long will it take before you meet somebody just as crazy as you? Because you think you crazy until you meet somebody that's crazy.
Strangers that much leverage on them. As I feel like that has a high potential to attract quite a few creeps. And while I'm all for, you know, people getting their bag and doing whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt others, I do think the story is important to talk about when considering the average age of what her TikTok viewers could be. And the kind of message that we're letting these creators blast online to these likely young adults and potentially teenagers.
Yeah, but if I say like young women shouldn't sleep around in their early 20s, maybe you should find a person that loves you and get into a committed relationship. I hate women, right? Or if a guy says that. But she could just go and tell young girls and young ladies that they should sleep at random men's houses, and that's something that's okay.
True or just for content. So who is this woman sharing all these irresponsible and just probably fake life hacks? Well, she goes by Emily Webb, and
she moved her head to the side so you can see the Ferrari logo. Oh boy, we got a baller. There's a baller in the house. So typical. If you got to show it, you're probably not that used to it.
Australia.
So typical.
She also has about 68,000 on TikTok and 179,000 on Instagram, but she clearly uses rage bait and thirst traps on these platforms to drum up engagement and, you know, funnel traffic to that spicy link in bio. And while a lot of her Instagram may be restricted and some of her TikTok content is filtered, it doesn't take a genius to really figure out what she's really trying to promote here. And this is the type of content that's being pushed out to the For You pages of people of potentially all age groups on these different platforms. But I only showed a clip earlier, so let's watch the whole thing.
You can literally just go on Hinge and stay at different guys' places for free every single night.
Or you could go get a job so you could stay at your own place every single night. Follow me for more life hacks.
And nothing bad has happened to me yet. I'll let you know how long I can keep going with this until I'm sleeping in my car, because they do only last a few nights and then they break up with me.
And then the craziest part is she's not even telling the truth. She's just a liar. I doubt that she's actually doing that. If she does OF, she probably has her own place to stay. I doubt that she's recording her OF content in random dudes' houses all the time. So she probably does have some place to stay. So not only is she just rage baiting, but she's also lying. She's just lying.
Them, but so far so good.
Okay, so to a lot of people, I hope it can come across as rage bait, and also understand the general population gets that meeting various strangers online back to back and asking to stay at their homes for like unspecified amounts of time is like asking to end up on some sort of true crime channel.
Right.
But it's not hard to believe that there's people who don't have the context of what she's promoting with these videos and might take it for some reason as legitimate advice and consider, hey, let's try this out. I'm poor. I don't have a lot of money right now, like most young people, and that's a scary thing to do.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of people just a few years ago that were eating Tide Pods. You remember that became a trend? So people do dumb things all the time. Yeah, people are very suggestive sometimes, and they do dumb things all the time.
That's awful advice. Please don't ever do that. But this isn't just like one-off video. This is kind of like her brand.
I just found this on my floor and got so excited thinking one of my men left his card here. And it's just I don't know what this is. I don't think it's a credit card. And I don't know who the Harry is. If anyone knows a Harry, I don't think I don't know who that is.
Again, this is a slippery slope. This, it's quick for this to not end well.
Even know
and
what
you
that was
don't
about.
only have to worry about guys either, because that Slender Man girl, she went on the run just like yesterday or something. So that's also horrifying. Also, yeah, FYI, if you see her, call 911 and...
Woman convicted in Slenderman stabbing apprehended in Illinois after cutting off monitoring bracelet. Yeah, lock her up.
Stay away. Definitely don't ask if you can go spend the night at her house. But obviously, there's been a whole rise of the whole, you know, soft girl and princess treatment trends on apps like TikTok and Instagram, because there are tons of
but that's not even a soft girl life. That's a prostitute's life. That's like the complete opposite of what that trend is supposed to be about. But that's what it's essentially becoming, because a lot of those girls, they feel like they don't have anything to contribute to a relationship outside of their looks and their body.
Young girls for being told that their greatest aspiration should be to not have to pay rent and instead rely on sometimes completely random men from Hinge. And I mean, hey, if you're lucky enough to have that in a stable relationship with someone else, that is awesome. I would absolutely not rely on Hinge dates that you just met to do that for you, though, because that's where things get dangerous. And not only dangerous, just imagine the stress of going, oh, I don't know where I'm going to sleep when this guy inevitably realizes that I'm just using him for free rent, and I could be kicked out either tomorrow or the next day or the day after. Do I have a date lined up for then?
And if you ain't giving nothing up, eventually somebody gonna get tired of you just living with him. If you ain't giving nothing up, eventually a guy gonna get tired of you just living with him.
Because I can't be lining up dates in front of him, because then he'll definitely realize that I'm gonna be, you know, using him. So it's like all this like sly maneuvering. You're living this like double life. I don't know. It just sounds so incredibly stressful to me. Now, obviously, being poor is also stressful, but having a whole bunch of roommates.
Yeah, but she's committed to the love of the game, though. She's in it for the love of the game. She loves being poor. She takes pride in it. She's taking pride in homelessness. If this is what you do, then your job is literally to find a place to sleep every night. So that's your actual job now. So yeah, you don't have time for a real job. You just be going from couch to couch surfing.
Sounds way less stressful than this. When I was going through my era of, I don't know if I can afford dinner tonight, thankfully, I had 5 other roommates. So sometimes we just shared dinners.
Yeah, everybody had them tough times, boy. When I was going through them tough times, eggs was a lifesaver. If you made some eggs and put some bread with it and sprinkle some salt on it and close your eyes, it damn near tasted like meat. You could damn near taste the protein in that thing. And don't get me started on a good day. Like if I had $5 to $10, I was definitely going to McDonald's. And I was getting me a small fry. I would get a spicy McChicken, and I would get a McDouble. And this is in a time where you could actually do that with $10. Now it's definitely different. McDonald's is starting to charge luxury prices without giving a luxury product now. So it's getting different. But the creme de la creme is if I had $15 to $20, I would go to Chili's, and they had like a pick 3 for 10 deal. You just couldn't beat it. I'm not sure if they still have it, but they had like these Chipotle tenders. Oh my goodness. Every single time they give you as many fries as you possibly needed. It was enough fries for me at least. And I would get chips and salsa for the starter because it came in the deal and a drink. And boy, oh boy, that was perfect for me. It was about $11, $12 after tax and everything. And then I'll leave like a little couple extra dollars for a tip. That's why I needed $15 for that. But yeah, Airman went through those times before. Airman went through those
Actually,
times.
no, that happened all the time. So that's what bailed us out when one of us were running low. Also, it builds strong connections with people. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with roommates.
Being broke builds character for sure. Sometimes they build character.
That's way better than sleeping with a new Hinge date every single night. Yeah. That sounds pretty, where am I going with that? It's not what any father wants for their daughter.
Right.
So I'll leave it there. Well, then there's also this flip side to it, because you're also telling a bunch of young men that girls are now prowling on dating apps with nothing on their list of desired traits and in a partner except for, does he have a couch for me to sleep on? Now, obviously, there are so many dudes who are just absolutely down for that, but not all of them would have the best intentions in mind.
Yeah,
it's just such a slippery slope to tell a bunch
because the woman doesn't have good intentions in mind. She's trying to use the man, so why wouldn't she be attracted to a man that's going to try to use her?
Women be like, yeah, let's go on dating apps and let's manipulate a bunch of men to allowing them or allowing us to sleep on their sofas.
Yeah, and then when one of those men realize that they're being manipulated and they didn't get anything out of it, you can expect for eventually you to run into a man that's going to be willing to get violent with you.
And then just
that's
string
what
them
happens when
along.
you play with
That's
people.
gonna suck. And then they'll carry that into the next person they meet with barriers up, and that's just not fair for anyone. And Emily has multiple videos using these polarizing topics to drive engagement. So, I mean, if you manage to avoid one of them, don't worry, there's plenty more.
Day 3 being homeless in LA, and Hinge is low-key drying up for me. I think I'm gonna give it quits. Everyone's kind of catching on to the fact that I'm homeless and being like, yeah, you're using me for a place to stay, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm on my way to Rodeo. I heard that's where the rich guys are. So hopefully we find one. I only need a place to stay for tonight.
I'm homeless. People are catching on to the fact that I'm using them for free sofas. So I'm on my way to like the most expensive area in the entire city. Yeah. Awesome.
Because Tiger said I can stay at his tomorrow night when he gets home from tour.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. That makes sense now. Okay, well, why didn't I see that?
But worst case scenario, I sleep in my car. This is a sick 2026 480i BMW. It's so lit. It's so
that's
comfy.
crazy. That's your rent right there. That's why you are homeless. You're paying your rent in the car. You're paying like 1/4 of a mortgage in a depreciating asset like a car. Like as soon as you drove off the lot with that thing, it lost about 50% of its value. But you know, dumb people take pride in dumb decisions. Can't really tell them
I'll
nothing.
just sleep in here. I'm chilling. And if you're hot, never pay rent.
There is no such thing as a 480i. What? A 440i? There's no 480i. Yeah, there's no 480i. I was like, hold up. They haven't got that high up in the numbers.
Just lied.
Yeah, I can basically confirm the Tiger Woods stuff has to be bait. There's no way that's real. So yeah, who knows? Maybe all this is bait. Hopefully it is.
Yeah, it is.
But apparently this is her entire brand. So whether it's bait or not, a lot of people think it's real because clearly there's been a lot of backlash online because of it.
Yeah,
we got another one here. Day 9, homeless update. One of my boyfriends, we live in hell.
Day 9-ish of being homeless. I just left one of my boyfriend's places. He said I can't stay again tonight because he has shit to do, whatever that means. It's just kind of drying up for me. Everyone's like pissing me off. They're being rude about the fact that I'm homeless. So I'm gonna go for a hot girl walk. I've done my makeup just to walk, and I'm gonna go ask every hot guy for their number and then see if I can find a place to sleep tonight. Otherwise, I'm sleeping in my car, which is fine. This is comfy as not complaining at all.
Okay, so she's no longer in a BMW here. Wait, this must have been... No, this is earlier. This is ages ago. So she's still doing it. The video we saw earlier, that's like a way more recent one. So she's been doing this for a minute, bro. And then like you'll get comments of like, no way. Yeah, this is probably a real guy as well.
This is the attention economy thing, like where any type of attention, even rage baiting, as long as the algorithm pushes it because it gets a emotional response from people, her platform will grow on this website or whatever she's trying to do.
Can't tell, but it looks like it's a real guy. He probably is like, what, 60? And he's like, I would love to adopt you. Yikes. But she also does this when she's traveling. So wait, she's also doing this. So she's been homeless in Vegas for 8 days in this series. So this is like going on perpetually, it seems like. But in this series, she's been homeless in Las Vegas for 8 days.
If you're hot, never pay for accommodation on holiday. I just found 2 hot guys in the casino and asked if I could sleep on their couch. 5-star hotel, and look at this view.
What a fascinating use of free will. Okay, so because I have a little bit of hope left in society, I think this is not real. But also, it's like you have the flip side. Lots of people see this content for what it is and they just completely ignore it. But you also have to consider some of the people who are likely young who will see these videos and believe, hey, that's a good idea. I could go stay in 5-star hotel rooms in Vegas for free. And that's where it becomes a slippery slope. But it's safe to say everyone seeing the situation seems to be pretty divided. So yeah, obviously, even if all of this is engagement bait, there's at least one comment calling Emily a queen for these videos and asking her to teach her how to do so. I mean,
Simps are all over the place, man. They can't be stopped. They're in it for the love of the game.
This very well could be influencing people to do this. And you also have like the flaunting of her relatively expensive cars in these videos and articles claiming that her issue isn't money, it's that people won't rent to her. And I'm just gonna say, I don't believe that.
I will say this, though. I do know people who own properties, and I do know people who are landlords. I know people who manage properties, too, and they will tell you what you do for a living matters. And when it comes to determining if you are a high-risk person that they're going to rent to. Like, there are women who do stripping for a living, and they make good money, don't get me wrong. But the people who rent out the houses and the landlords that I know, they say that those types of women tend to destroy properties, and they tend to be inconsistent because of the type of company that they keep. And if you have a property, especially that's in a neighborhood, you don't want this type of person living next door to a family. Or if you own a fourplex or a duplex or something like that. Say if there's a family that has a consistent flow that's lived there next door, or a single man, or a man and a woman that lives next door. Typically speaking, it's not a good idea to bring in a sex worker in the other apartment or nearby, or bring them into those types of neighborhoods. That is a real thing.
I don't believe that at all. Because as long as she's getting money deposited into her bank, and she's making 3 times what the place is charging for rent, she can get a place. And worst case scenario, let's say, like, hypothetically, all of these landlords are just denying her. You always have Airbnb, and you can do a long-term rental on Airbnb, and it can be not as expensive as, short-term renting an Airbnb. I have plenty of friends who have gotten Airbnbs in pinches between apartments.
But you can also get kicked out of Airbnbs for filming that type of content, for sure. I was thrown out of a 4K a night Airbnb for taking bikini photos. The hosts accused me of filming corn. So yeah, that is a real thing. You could definitely get kicked out. And once you get kicked out, your rating drops, and it's almost impossible to find another one. So if anybody catches you doing that, you're definitely getting kicked out.
Often when you rent an Airbnb for a full month and you're not in like some massive city or like tourist hotspot, it will not be that much more expensive than, a normal monthly rent for like a 1-bedroom or whatever. But this is just from my experience of looking around and from what my friends have done. And obviously you could probably find examples of showing, 1 month of an Airbnb is like way above the market rate for certain cities. I'm sure that could easily be the case in plenty of cities. But by the way, she's promoting 2 things here technically, like, staying at random dudes' homes that you meet on Hinge, and OF by flexing these expensive cars that she's driving around. And again, hey, I support everyone doing what they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. But I don't. I believe in duties to society because I believe we all depend on society, and I believe with those duties, if we all act in our own interest to become shitty people, then society is going to inevitably become shitty because we're all behaving that way. So I do believe we have duties to society. And that's not even including the fact that this actually does just do harm. This is just generally not good for other people to hear these types of methods because there's always going to be somebody that's going to believe it. Even though it seems obviously fake to most people, there's always going to be the gullible few that believe it. Important to, acknowledge how this kind of content could affect young people because all of this is being broadcasted all across, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube where a bunch of young people are. Because essentially she's branding it as a life hack to make it go viral. And obviously it's controversial, hence why we're talking about it as well. But regardless, it's definitely an awful idea. Apparently she also did this POV you trust a man challenge, which ended up injuring her. I didn't know this was a trend, but apparently the whole bit is you run down your friend by accident in the name of a viral TikTok video. But Emily claims that
she makes content about not trusting men. How you gonna make content about not trusting men, but then tell people that you should be homeless and go depend on these men and live in their houses for the night in order to avoid getting a job. That just doesn't even make any sense. It's dumb.
Was hit at the
You
last second.
obviously trust men if you want to live in their homes.
I'm not even going to get into whether she was hurt or not, but her follow-up content seemed to be, you know, business as usual. Even her waiting for the ambulance video is unconvincing, to put it lightly.
So dumb.
Okay. All right. I think it's all fake. That it is what it is, I guess. Because obviously these influencers are not above rage baiting. If anything, it just boosts their stuff. Right. And then it puts me on the fence of like, okay, do I cover this and indirectly signal boost this? Or do I also cover this to be like, hey,
yeah, I don't think that criticizing something is pushing it. I think that it's criticizing it and talking about how dumb it is, because you have to be able to counteract dumb ideas with criticism. And if there are people who are such horn dogs that they inevitably go subscribe to this type of stuff, you making the video on this type of stuff and criticizing it wasn't going to be the deciding factor. That's a person that already is engaged in that type of stuff. Nobody's going to see this video and go, I can't control myself, I'm now going to go subscribe to. You were already that type of guy. Nothing was going to save you but Christ, and that's what you need to do. Go find him. Yeah, if you see this bird brain and you think to yourself, I want to go pay my hard-earned money for this, and it's not just this video, it's any of these types of women that do this line of work, and you go, I'm going to pay real money to chat with this woman and have her send pictures to me, this video wasn't going to be the make or break. The news criticizes and talks about murderers all the time. It doesn't mean that they're promoting murder. So criticizing something isn't the promotion of it, it's the criticism of it.
This is a dangerous thing that she's spreading, and people should not be, you know, staying at a new Hinge date's house every night. That's a really bad idea.
Confession, I've always been really jealous of people that have a double chin, because like it looks so funny. Like I literally have the sharpest, most perfect jawline ever. Like it sucks.
All right, well, I wish her the best of luck. Either way, terrible idea. Hopefully you respect yourself enough to not do this. And if you're a dude, maybe you should be wary of it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to pick up a person that's going to be crashing and guilting you to sleep on your sofa when you're thinking you're going on a date. That's just not fair for anyone.
Yeah, well, that was already a thing with the food stuff, right? Like the idea of the foodie date, the idea of going on different dates so you don't have to buy your own food, that was already a thing. So this wouldn't be too far more of a stretch than that idea, to be honest. But it probably is fake. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's up without special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.